Morning. Today is Wednesday, June 9th. I'm Pastor Terry with Tuscola United Methodist Church, and I'm so glad that you decided to join us for our daily devotion. As I've mentioned the last 2 days, we are looking at the book of Esther. So if you haven't had a chance to go back and watch Mondays and Tuesdays, please do so. Also, if you haven't had a chance to quickly read through Esther 5 and 6, pause this video right now, just glance through them, and then you'll be kind of up to date with what we're discussing. And we're discussing Esther with a lens of how the racial inequality there caused problems and how the racial inequality today causes problems for us as Christians and in our community. Today's is a very interesting story. I'm going to kind of just share the whole story, and then we're going to go back and talk about what we can extrapolate from it. So to begin with, remember it ended yesterday with the Haman is angry because Mordecai refuses to bow down to him. And so he asks Xerxes to have all the Jews killed. And Xerxes just follows right along with this. So Esther decides that even if this causes her to die, she needs to act. So now Esther comes in and approaches the king. Fortunately, he loved her enough, or was still as smitten with her as he was, that he didn't have a problem with her approaching him. And all she asked was for him to attend a dinner tonight with Haman. And then she will ask him a petition. And at this point, he says, I will give you anything you want, up to half my kingdom. He has no idea what she's going to ask. Now we look at the rage beginning to grow in Haman even more. Haman is feeling very full of himself. Hey, he's invited to a dinner with the king and the queen. This is amazing. And as he sees Mordecai at the king's gate, he notices Mordecai still refusing to bow or show fear, and he is so angry that he allows his wife to convince him to have Mordecai impaled the following morning on a pole. And so he's very excited about this, and he gets the pole set up and ready to go. And then we move on to chapter 6. Well, I love chapter 6 because this is one of those things where the timing is all God. So Xerxes can't sleep, and so he asks his people to read the book of his chronicles, the record of what he's done as king. And he finds the story about Mordecai saving his life, and he says, hey, I haven't ever repaid Mordecai. How can I do something special for him? Well, he asks Haman, hey, how should I honor someone that the king delights in? And this is where Haman you just see his character in this, because Haman is so narcissistic that he assumes this has to be for him. Of course, he's the one the king delights in. He's the one going to the dinner with the queen and the king tomorrow night. He is just absolutely amazing. So he says what he would like, which is a royal robe, a horse that the king has ridden with a royal crest on its head, and one of the noble princes leading the horse around the city, proclaiming, "This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor." Well, in a twist that you could have seen coming a mile away, of course, Xerxes isn't talking about Haman, he's talking about Mordecai. And not only that, but Haman is now the prince who gets the honor of leading the horse around the city and crying out, hey, this man is amazing, the king is worshiping him. Haman is just livid. And I'm going to end this part with the end of the chapter, which is basically where Haman's advisors and his wife say, you know what, you need to back off, because this man is got something special going on, and he will be your downfall. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is something that we talked about a little bit on Sunday in Sunday's sermon, and that is anger and rage. Where is most anger and rage coming from? I am a big believer that most of the things that we are really angry, that when we are really angry at someone, it's because we fear them in some way. Fear causes anger 99 times out of 100. And so let's look at Haman. Why do I keep saying their names backwards? Let's look at Haman. What was Haman afraid of? I think Haman was kind of like the emperor with no clothes, and he was afraid because Mordecai looked at him and saw him for who he really was, a hanger-on who did not deserve worship. And Haman couldn't stand to have someone really see who he was. Most of the time, the beginnings of racism are not this dramatic. They're really not. But if we look back at history, we see a lot of the anger against African Americans started when after the Civil War, because suddenly Black people were free to get jobs, and some of the jobs they were taking were jobs that belonged to white people, and some of them moved north, and it became, oh, there's not enough for everybody, so you are the other. Same thing happened a little earlier than that when the Irish were immigrating over. Oh, they're stealing our jobs. The difference with the Irish is that after a generation, they could kind of blend in, whereas African Americans have never been able to blend in. So if we really examine what causes people to be truly racist, I honestly, in my heart of hearts, believe that it is a fear. It is a fear that there's not enough and that these people aren't us, so they don't deserve as much as I do. That's what we see in Haman, and that's what we see throughout history. All right, tomorrow try to read chapters 7 and 8, and I will talk to you then. Oh, wait. See, I almost forgot again. My question of the day. When you are honest about yourself and your behavior, who do you tend to be most like? Are you Esther, who's willing to confront racism no matter the cost? Are you Mordecai, the voice of reason? Are you Haman, who's so fearful against someone that you want to lash out? Are you the king who just kind of gets swept up in it all? Someone else? I would love, if you ever want to share your response with me, I would absolutely love to hear it. All right, y'all, God bless, and talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.